All right, we're into day two of our equations and inequalities packet. Again, I worked on that first part yesterday. We're going to jump to this page. It actually says lesson four, homework practice. We're going to be working on uh, multiplication equations and division equations. Okay. And again, just like yesterday, we're going to be showing our work um, with a balance beam and performing the the division property of equality and what we call the multiplication property of equality. It just means that we're going to be doing the same operation on each side of the balance beam. Okay, so um, what I'd like for you to do for homework here, and I'll share with you in that just a minute, but we're going to again just kind of focus on this row, just like I did yesterday, and crank these out. And actually, you're probably going to end up doing this whole page here, 1 to 16. So um, let's get started. All right. So first thing I would ask you to do is go ahead and draw a balance beam, and I'm going to tee this up. Okay. Now, we've learned from previous lessons that when I tee something up or when I create a fraction bar, it's a fancy way to write a division problem. It's real simple, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to isolate this variable. So what I'm going to do is divide both sides by this coefficient of 7. The coefficient is the number in front of the variable. So I'm going to divide this by 7 and this by 7. Okay, and by dividing both sides by 7, 7 divided by 7 is going to cancel. Okay, and what's left is a. And really, 7 divided by 7 is just 1a, but we don't write that coefficient of 1. Then I'm going to bring my equal down. 63 divided by 7 is 9, and I'm going to circle my final answer, just like that. So when I draw a bar, that tells the reader to divide both sides by what? By 7 in this case. Let's go to number 5. Okay. And number 5 is a little bit different, but it's okay. All right. So 3v equals 42. I'm going to divide both sides by 3. This side always cancels. We always end up with our variable over here. 42 divided by 3. Well, maybe I don't know what that is, so I'm just going to come off to the side. And I find that's 14. Okay, so V is 14, and bang, there it is. Okay. All right. What I'm going to actually do is slide over to number 11 here instead of doing this because it's similar to that. And number 11 is a little bit different because it's fractions, but we're going to handle it the same way. And I'm going to tee this up, and I'm still going to draw a fraction bar, okay, even though they're fractions, right? I'm going to divide both sides by 5, 6. Why 5, 6? Because it's actually the coefficient in front of the variable. Cancels. Divided by 5, 6. Well, I don't know about you, but I need to show work on this. When I divide fractions, I've got to do a lot of work. So I'm actually going to slide, okay, right over here, all right, and I'm going to take 1/6 and divide it by 5, 6. Okay, and I could put a number 11 there just to show my work. And I'm going to rewrite it as 1/6. And remember, we changed the sign to multiplication and we flip the second fraction. We reciprocate it, don't we? And we're going to factor out a 6. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. This is old hat. So our answer is K equals 1/5. Okay. So there's my work for that.
Quiet interruption. At 12:53, all sixth grade students should report to the auditorium. At 12:53, all sixth grade students to the auditorium. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. So you can kind of figure out this is Thursday after the map testing. All right, let's continue on and take a look at the next one. And we could take a look at 13, okay? And again, if you get jammed up with a tough problem and you want to grab your calculator on these, I'm fine. It's not about more the computation. It's more about the process. Okay, but I'm not going to use one. So what I'm going to do is tee this up. Now this is a little bit different than these because they have the answer equals 6/10 r. This is still the coefficient. So I'm going to divide both sides by 6/10. This cancels, r comes down. And what I'm going to do is divide both sides by 6/10. Right, and that's how that problem would be set up. So what I'm going to do is move this over 1. And here's the decimal in a whole number. So I'm going to annex a 0 and move it over 1 and take it up and put it above my division bar. Okay. And now I'm just going to divide it out. 6 goes into 7 one time. 1 times 6 is 6. Subtract and get 1. Bring the 2 down. 6 goes into 12 twice. Bring the 0 down. 6 won't go into 0. So that 0 holds value since we moved the decimal over. So r is 120. It's 120. Okay. So this is what we're getting into today. Again, we're performing the division property of equality. We're dividing both sides of the balance beam by the number with the variable. We're isolating the variable and getting it. What I'm going to have you do, and you know what, you're welcome to use your calculator if you want to figure out the computation. All right. I want you to finish that up. But if you don't have these balance beams, you will not get credit. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is flip to the other side and continue this side. Okay. All right. And we're going to jump around here a little bit. But this is where we're going to perform the division, we're going to perform the multiplication property of equality. Why? Because we have to do the inverse operation of division. 5 equals r divided by 7. Okay? Everything is still the same. So what I'm going to do is draw a balance beam. And I'm going to multiply both sides by 7. Okay? By 7. Now, if I was to set this up, I could show you here in just a second why this cancels out, and I'll do that. But these 7s cancels, and r comes down. 5 times 7 is 35, right? Some mental math, all right? And I'm going to show you on number 2 how this cancels out, where we just end up with this variable r or this variable j, okay? All right, so number 2. We balance beam, okay? Because people ask me, well, how do I get a j over there? Well, let me show you. I'm going to multiply both sides by 8. So 6 times 8 is the same as j over 8 times 8 over 1. You see, I multiplied this side by 8. These 8s will cancel, and j will come down. 6 times 8 is 48, and there it is. So instead of doing all this, I just have you draw a balance beam and do it this way. If you feel comfortable doing it that way, go ahead. No problem, right? All right, let's do one more. Okay, and I'm kind of looking around here for a good problem here. And let's do a decimal, no problem there. Let's come down to 15, okay? Now, 15, we're going to balance beam. And I'm going to multiply this by 0.3. This side cancels. R comes down. And this by 0.3, or 3/10. 3 times 9 is 27. Carry the 2. That's 5. 2 to the right. And there it is. That's what I want you to kind of get used to if you could do that. Again, calculator's an option, and I'm not going to fight that. Okay? But for homework on this, okay, so that's 15. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, and 10 is 20. All right, so you know what? Let's just go ahead and do them all and use our calculator. That way, we're going to get good reps, and you're going to have an opportunity to work with your calculator, which I know you like to do. Okay? So if you have any questions, shoot me an email, or if it's in class or whatever, come see me. All right, guys, we'll see you. Have a good day.